Alright, you all know that I love my Gourmands, and there's a video that I've been wanting to do, which is what I'm doing today for you, comparing two fragrances that have similarities. One of them is a discontinued fragrance that was brought back and only sold in the Paris boutique from the house of Guerlain called Ganache. You can buy it in a decantable bottle, a B bottle from Guerlain like this, but you do have to go to Paris to buy it. But there is a fragrance out there from the house of Lancome, Dragées, this right here, that I find has similarities to Ganache, which is in this bottle. So if you want to find out about these two fragrances and see how similar and how different they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into the channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So Guerlain's Ganache has been a fragrance that I've been, you know, it's a sought after kind of a fragrance because I've been trying to find a bottle for the longest time. And as soon as I had gotten really heavily involved in the fragrance community doing reviews and things, Ganache from the L'Art et la Métier collection from Guerlain was discontinued. So I had never really experienced it much except for smelling it once and loving it. So earlier this year when I was in Paris, I went to the Guerlain boutique, and sure enough they have released it to be sold at that boutique in Paris. I'm assuming it's at a few boutiques in Paris because there's several. I bought it from the boutique on the Rue Saint-Honoré, but the main one is on the Champs-Élysées. I think that's the main one, but there's a couple of them out there. And then I was able to receive it in this beautiful B bottle. It's a refillable bottle, and it smells gorgeous. When you smell it, it smells really boozy for some reason. It smells like a liqueur, like a sweet liqueur you drink in, you know, a little shot glass. That's what it reminds me of. So you're able to get it, and the price point is quite pricey. It was around $300 something. So they give it to you in this bottle, and they give you a small atomizer which you can fill it up with like this, so you can wear it, because this one sprays. This one does not spray, obviously, but you can smell it obviously like that. Plus it comes with a little, it comes in a little box like this. This actually also comes in a separate box, which I think I threw away, or it's somewhere. And this box actually has a little funnel. And of course, I like to do the pipette and just pop the pipette in here and pull out the juice and put it into the little atomizer that they give you. So this comes along with your $300 some purchase. It's quite pricey, and as I said, you have to get somebody to buy it for you, and or go there yourself to pick it up. So what is the deal with this one? As I said, it used to be part of the L'Art et la Métier collection, which includes Spiritueuse Double Vanille, Tonka Imperial, Cœur Beluga, Angelique Noir, and many others. So it was discontinued around 2013, somewhere around there when I was first really exploring this collection. And it was originally created by Thierry, who is the in-house perfumer for Guerlain, so I'm assuming that it's still. And I don't remember the differences with this current version versus the one in the L'Art et la Métier collection bottle. So I think they're similar, but it could be reformulated. And the notes with this one are iris, white chocolate, vanilla, amber, patchouli, cinnamon, musk, cedarwood, bergamot. Really, really delicious with a very, very light citrusy touch here. And keep that in mind because it's going to come up with the Lancome. And the other thing is, this one, it does smell like a liqueur when you smell it. It's absolutely divine. Like the way it smells, it's just really, really gorgeous. Really, absolutely gorgeous. But for me, wearing it is not as gorgeous as I smell it out of the bottle. That's just the bummer with it. But it's still a very, very gorgeous scent, and it's beautiful. It's white chocolate. It's really, really delicious. Just like you drinking a chocolate liqueur with some kind of a fruity undertone thrown in with this one. So it's quite delicious. So on that same trip, I fell in love with Iris Dragées from Lancome, this one right here. It didn't really dawn on me that they have similarities until I brought it back earlier this year and started wearing them and experiencing similarities. I'm like, these are kind of similar Of course, it's utilizing Iris. It's an Iris Gourmand. Both of them have Iris. This one was launched in 2018, and that's early January 2019 is when I bought it. So it was brand spanking new. 100 ml bottle retails for $1.98. Both of them are EDP concentration. This one's created by Nathalie Lorson. So I fell in love with this one, the way it smells. In fact, the way this one wears is much more bigger than the way Iris Dragées wears. I'm sorry, Iris Ganache or Erie Ganache wears. So I feel like this one actually kind of has dominated the Iris Ganache because it kind of has more of a projection. It's a little more bigger, more rounder, whereas for me, wearing Iris Ganache or Erie Ganache is a little more of a subdued experience, closer to the skin experience. So for some reason, I'm favoring this one. They do have the similarities even with the notes. The smells are kind of different. For me, when you smell them right off the bat, they have much closer smell, and then they go in different directions after you're wearing them. But with this one, created by Nathalie Lorson, one of my favorite perfumers, and I do have a top 5 Nathalie Lorson video on the channel if you're curious to find out about her. This one is not featured on that video because I was focusing on the more cheaper designer releases. This is from the Lancome's higher price point niche styling collection. But this one has notes of iris, almonds, Orris butter, sugar, vanilla, musk, ISOE super, bergamot, orange blossom, freesia. And what does Dragées mean? It's a candy consisting of a center covered with a coating such as a sugared almond. So there's almond in the notes here. In fact, almonds are pretty dominant. They stand out for me along with the iris and then of course the Orris butter. So that's what they're going after. They're both delicious gourmands, and both of them utilize iris as a main player. Here they have Orris butter with the Erie Ganache. They don't have Orris butter, they have white chocolate, which gives it a more buttery, creamy effect like the Orris butter is giving here. But this one has certainly the almonds, and this one doesn't. Now, as far as performance goes, as I said, this one definitely beats the Iris Ganache for some odd reason. This one just completely stands out, and the wearing experience is a louder experience, whereas the Iris Ganache is very, very subdued and quiet for me. Just for my chemistry, that's how it is. But they're both delicious. They're just really, really delicious Iris Gourmands. This one also goes a little more citrusy, including in addition to the almonds, which is also different from both of them. This one has a lot more of a tart experience. It's still a gourmand, but that bergamot I think is pretty amped up, and you do experience a more tart, slightly sour experience. So if you're opposed to that kind of an experience, you might want to think about it twice. But I think if you're at all interested or curious about these two, check out or get samples, because you might like one over the other. I really love both of them, but I'm favoring the Iris Dragées personally because it is a little bigger experience. It is a little more louder, and it does have a more of a presence, whereas this one does not. The Iris Ganache. I keep screwing up the names. So Erie Ganache, Erie or Iris Dragées, both excellent Iris dominant gourmands. And here's a couple of other things that I should also mention. For me, this one goes a little more syrupy, a little more ambery. The ambery touches are more prominent, and the wearing experience is a lot stickier, so it's more molassesy rather than this one. This one goes very, very powdery to me, and I think because of the powdery touches, that's why it's a little more subdued to me. It doesn't scream, it's not projecting, it's just quiet and subdued. I mean, there's a place for those kind of fragrances, but if I'm comparing it, I'm telling you exactly what I'm experiencing with these two fragrances. This one, if you like it more louder, if you want it to stand out, definitely this one. But then again, like I said, get yourself a sample and test them out so that you experience them to see which one works better for you. The other thing that this one does for me compared to this one, this is ultra Guerlain. Like, you can tell from its DNA as it's drying down, or from the dry down, you know it's a Guerlain fragrance. Not when you first smell it like this, which smells amazing, but it smells like a Guerlain fragrance when it's drying down. Like, the DNA is there, completely there, and it starts reminding me of other Guerlain fragrances. It's not a bad thing, I'm just saying exactly how I'm doing. This one is more of a, it dries down to more of a buttery, kind of a creamy iris almond kind of a thing. Really, really delicious. This one I'm really favoring, and I think this is about time I did this video. I've had these two fragrances from earlier this year in January. I've been meaning to put together the video. It's just been, I haven't getting to them. But I recently pulled this out because it's gotten cool here and I was wearing it. And I really, really love the way it smells. It has great longevity. It's got great performance. The cloud is big and it's a gourmand with powdery touches and almonds and iris. Really enjoying it, so I figured, okay, it's about time. It's perfect for fall and winter. It's a great, delicious tasting. I was going to say tasting, but delicious experience with fragrance. So if you like the idea of iris with the gourmand notes, definitely try this one. And if you are going to Paris, definitely go sample it. They do let you smell it over there. Just the price tag is a little high, but you do get one of these little bottles. They're really cute. And then, of course, the B bottle is really cute as well. I'm not sure if this is refillable. Do you take it back if it's finished? I'm not 100% sure, but then again, if you can't go, these are sold at our Bloomingdale's here in San Francisco, and they are about $200, as I said. But I recently saw it at FragranceNet for about $140 for 100 ml. That's a good price. This one's definitely not at the discounters, obviously, because you have to fly to Paris to get it. That's my information about these two fragrances. Two very similar and different. For me, they're very similar when you first spray them, and then they go in different directions. Similar as in similar notes as well. You know, there are differences, but I think it's similar idea. I don't know if Lancome was trying to copy this. If they were, they did a great job. They're not identical, they're similar, and I do enjoy this one. I think the true Guerlain lovers are probably going to be more favoring this one compared to Iris Dragées. But then again, Lancome, this collection from Lancome has some great options. There are some great fragrances, lots of gourmands. It seems like they're going in a very gourmandy direction, which I love. I love gourmands, and I'm willing to explore this line a little further and see what I can come up with, because there's just a ton of different gourmands. The lavender one in this collection is nice. The ouds, of course, are very popular. There's the orange or orange blossom, I think it was. Just a great collection of fragrances. So I want to explore them and see what else I can come up with. But for now, this one was a love it first sniff. And again, as I mentioned, didn't even realize I was getting something similar. Just fell in love with both of them and bought them at the same trip, and then ended up coming back and seeing, okay, these are very similar. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on Guerlain's Iris Ganache and Lancome's Iris Dragées. What are your thoughts about these two fragrances? Have you tried them? Do you own them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Let me know, put a comment down. And also, if you have both, have you ever thought about comparing them and seeing the similarities and differences, or have you known this about them? Please let me know, put a comment down so I can find out and we can get a conversation started. Other than that, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.